Good morning. Juan Liu, who I've partnered with for the last 25 years, has asked me to do a presentation on M Financial and our products. And then I've asked Scott Bauman, who's an attorney in Washington, D.C., to discuss policy ownership, policy beneficiary designations, using trusts. Because I think a lot of people that come to the United States to purchase real estate or purchase other investments are not aware of the significant transfer taxes that have to be paid by a non-US citizen at death. Next slide, please. M Financial Group was established in 1978. There are approximately 145 independent firms. There are 700 producers, or we call them marketers. We produce collectively about 1.7 billion, that's US, $1 billion of premium each year, of which approximately 1.1 billion is life insurance premiums. We focus on ultra affluent individuals, both here and worldwide. We have a tremendous amount of underwritten lives in force. There are approximately 75,000 ultra high net worth individuals in the US, and Asia is very quickly, they are the area of the world that has the highest growth rate in that in that market. As I mentioned, M was founded in 1978, and we originally started with 13 firms. We now have 145 member firms, and we have a presence in Taiwan through Juan Liu, Hong Kong through Juan Liu, and then in the United Kingdom as well. Next slide, please. This will just give you a schematic of the M Global community. Our head of operations for M Financial is actually in Portland, Oregon, which is on the west coast of the United States. Our international platform is located in Bermuda, and then we have operations in the United Kingdom as well. Next slide, please. This is just a timeline of the history of M Financial, which again was started in 1978. And you'll see in 2010, M's international platform was created, which facilitates the issuance of foreign national life insurance from our domestic carriers as well as our international carriers. Our major business lines include life insurance through wealth transfer, estate planning, executive benefits, and the institutional market. I'll just mention one thing that happened to me in the last 2 weeks. I was approached by a woman that lives in Hong Kong. And after researching her, I found that she had her MBA from the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School in Philadelphia, which is probably one of our best business schools. And she was investing a lot in real estate in the United States and having it titled in her own name. And she was unaware until earlier this week that she was exposing her heirs to transfer taxes, which there's only a $60,000 exemption for transfer taxes in the United States, which would leave the family responsible to pay 40% of the value of that real estate in death taxes to the US because she was not a US citizen or a green card holder. We also deal with executive benefits, institutional marketing, and Scott Bauman will spend obviously more time on this than what I am, and he will be on next. Individual disability income and long-term care insurance, annuities, corporate benefits, wealth management, and again, the International Insurance Solutions, which was established back in 2010. And we reinsure, we have our own reinsurance company, and we actually take a piece of the risk for each policy that's issued by the M Financial firms through our reinsurance company, M Financial Re. This slide, you can see in 2010, the M International platform was created along with some of the other platforms that we use. Next slide, please. This will give you an idea of the production that we do. There are only approximately 700 of us. And you'll see that New York Life, they do about 925 million of life insurance premium, but they do it with 9,000 producers. Northwestern Mutual, who I was a college agent for many, many years ago, they do it with 6,000 producers, their business of roughly $1.5 billion. We're doing premiums, life insurance premiums of $1,157 million with 700 producers. So that'll give you an idea of our scale. Our core values, our member firm core values are innovation, excellence, collaboration with each other. We just finished we have an annual marketing meeting, which was held in San Diego, California. And we just finished that meeting yesterday, where we all come together and share ideas. Our leadership, and then our client advocacy, which is extremely important to us. Next slide, please. This just goes through on a year-by-year basis the amount of total premium that we had issued. So in 2008, it was $1.5 billion, and in 2017, it was $1.7 billion. Our annual compound growth rate is 18% a year since 1978, which is very unusual in our industry. A typical M member firm, their gross revenues are in excess of $2 million. They focus on high net worth or the corporate market. There are usually multiple marketers in each member firm, I'd say 4 to 8. And they believe in the concept of a firm, not just an individual. And we have a strong advisor network of attorneys and CPAs, of which Scott Bauman is one of them. And then our key attributes are listed at the bottom of that page. And also the member firms are the stockholders in M Financial Group. The company is actually owned by the member firms. We are self-governed, which is very good because it keeps our independence, and we're structured in such a way that we can present business opportunities, policies, and resolve any grievances that come along with 145 member firms. And I know there's no other organization in the US as large as M Financial where every voice in a firm can make such a difference. And I've been a member, I've been affiliated with M Financial since 2011. I've been in the industry for, believe it or not, 50 years. And this by far is the best distribution company that I've ever been affiliated with, hands down. Next slide. Remember, we're independent. We're free to select the products and services that best meet our needs of our clients. We are very focused on high quality business that's driven by sustainable policy performance. Because we reinsure a piece of each policy that's issued, we have 14 actuaries on staff that work with the carriers to determine the policy performance and the profitability of that book of business. We have dedicated service lines with each of our core carriers. They provide very strong underwriting to us, and the treatment of our in-force policies is different than the carrier's non-M proprietary products, which I'll go through in a few minutes. Next slide, please. Although we're independent, we collaborate together, and because of that, we are able to develop institutionally priced proprietary products. And that just means that our core carriers, which I'll disclose in a few moments, our products are priced 12 to 14% less expensive than the same carrier's non-proprietary products, which is critical to us. And those proprietary products are only available to M member firms. They cannot be purchased by anybody but a member firm. The proprietary products, obviously, that's a significant component of our success, because if you look at a John Hancock shelf product and then you look at a John Hancock M proprietary product, the proprietary product is going to be 12 to 14% less expensive than John Hancock's shelf product. It's only available through M member firms, and it's designed because of our unique persistency, face amount, and mortality experience, which we'll go through in a moment. And I also want to remind you that our in-force performance is jointly managed by our 14 actuaries at M Financial and the carriers. And also, we take a seat at the table by reinsuring a piece of each policy that's issued by a member firm. We have 35 proprietary products from the M carriers available. This just shows the mortality experience of our book of business as contrasted to the industry's experience. And our mortality experience is 13% less than the industry average. And because of that, it lowers the cost of insurance charges for the M proprietary life products. Our persistency, which is outlined in this slide, shows that our persistency, our lapse rate, is approximately 65% lower than the industry. And because of that, it allows the partner carriers to recoup their initial expenses, and it drives lower ongoing policy charges for the M proprietary products. Finally, the average face amount, our average policy face amount is 13 times the average policy in the industry, average policy face amount in the industry, which also provides us with economies of scale, which again allows us to lower the policy charges for the M proprietary life products. As far as reinsuring our member firm business, we spend approximately $50 million each year in reinsuring that high quality business is placed by the member firms. And by doing the reinsurance with the carrier, it allows us to track our experience, which allows us to track the monitoring of the changes in the policyholder's interest. In other words, it allows us to go back to the carrier and have them reprice those products and pass those savings back on to the existing block of business, which is not what is normally done. Next slide, please. M Financial Re, we have reinsured about $60 billion of face amount. And because of that, it creates significant benefits for the member firms and their clients. I will mention, we are the only distribution system that invests its own capital in the business placed by our member firms. We are the only ones that do that. There are approximately 200 professionals in Portland in our home office, and they are totally dedicated to supporting the member firms. These people include product development people, management, sales support, underwriting, reinsurance, technology, and communications. And again, we have access to 14 full-time actuaries to track the design of new contracts, new policies, as well as manage our in-force block, which is extremely important. This slide, with shelf products, as an example, if I purchased a John Hancock shelf product, when that product turns a profit that's higher than what they originally forecasted, they don't return that higher profit back to that policyholder. They use it to reduce the pricing in new policies that they're going to issue. That's not what happens with the M in-force proprietary products. Those excess profits are actually plowed back to that in-force block, which has allowed us to reduce the costs in 54 repricings, which resulted in over $200 million of cost reductions given back to our in-force policyholders. We're the only ones that do that. As far as client advocacy, our member firms, the principals in our member firms, many are very, very active in the industry organizations in the United States, which gives us a much larger voice in the industry here. Our carrier relationships, it's a commitment of our senior management to maintain our strong carrier relationships. We want the products to be soundly priced. We want our in-force block to be treated the way it should be treated when they're excess profits. We have dedicated resources in those core carriers to help us service the business. And again, with our reinsurance activities, it allows us to track the profitability of those contracts, and it aligns our direction with the carrier. It's very unique in the industry. Next slide, please. These are the M carrier relationships. Our partner carriers are the carriers that we have proprietary products with. John Hancock, we began working with them in 1992. And by the way, it's not unusual for M to produce more than 50% of the carrier's life insurance production in any given year. So that gives us a tremendous amount of negotiation ability with the carriers. Nationwide, we've worked with since 2006, Pacific Life since 1983, and they were the company that issued the first proprietary product back in the early 80s. Prudential, TIAA, and Unum, they are our partner carriers. Our associate carriers, we have very strong working relationships with, but we do not have proprietary product pricing with Lincoln or Symetra. Now, Symetra is owned by Sumitomo Life, which is a Japanese company. And then our specialty carriers are Guardian, Exceptional Risk Advisors, Lombard, Voya, Pan American, MetLife, and JP Morgan. This just breaks out the international carrier relationships, which are John Hancock Nationwide, Pacific Life, Pan American Life, Prudential, Symetra, TIAA, and Lincoln. Each of these carriers has specific requirements to have policies issued to foreign nationals, which I would be more than willing to review with someone that has a question on that. Jack is familiar with that as well as Juan. And then on our international carriers are Global Benefits Group, Lombard International, Manulife Bermuda, Pan American Life, and then Sun Life Financial Bermuda. This is just will give you an idea of how to connect with them through social media. The way to contact me is to contact Jack. Jack will then email me or call me with any questions that you have. And then you can also direct any questions that you have regarding Scott Bauman's presentation, which will be next, again, through going through Jack. I thank you for your time today, and I look forward to working with you all. Take care.